welcome to the first of the Money Group podcast on lockdown. Today I'm joined by my sidekick Martin, and we're interviewing Ash Carty, the snooker player from Rotherham. So with the snooker championship starting next week, our first live televised sport in the UK, we thought it'd be good just to get a bit of insight into what Ash does and how it's going to roll out next week.
Brilliant. Morning, Ash.
Morning, you alright?
You're alright, yeah, good, thank you. How are you enjoying lockdown?
It's not too bad, it's quite relaxing.
Yeah.
Still getting my practice in, which is very helpful. And then just been relaxing. Other than that, it's been great, actually.
So, yeah, I think a lot of people have used the lockdown for lots of different reasons. So let's start at the beginning, Ash. When did you start playing snooker? When did you first pick up that cue?
I started when I was about 8 years old. My parents bought me a little 6-foot snooker table for Christmas, and then my dad used to go to the pub every Sunday to play snooker with his friends, and gradually I just started joining in. My dad realised I was potting far too many balls to be lucky. So then we got in touch with a coach, and it just went from there. Gradually entered tournaments like locally, and then started going regional and then international. Just built it up slowly.
As you can tell, poor Ash, being from Rotherham, you get dragged up in the pubs. So you had to do something while your dad was playing on a fruit machine.
Yeah, I've lived a lot of my life in a few pubs on
proper Yorkshire education. Ash, so would you put yourself in the natural talent pool or the graft pool? Because snooker players can come like the Steve Davis who practice, and you get good. And then you've got the Ronnie O'Sullivan and the Alex Higgins who just, they could pick up a stick from the park and do a 147 off the back of it. So have you got a foot in both camps? Are you naturally talented, do you think?
I'd say I'm a bit of both, a bit half and half. I've got natural ability, but I've noticed if I do take a few days off or a week off, it can be quite hard to get back into. So I had 2 or 3 weeks off when the lockdown started, just to relax, and then when I come back on the table, it felt like I'd never played before. So
yeah, trying to go for the fluky 8, black and a red, and that's about it, isn't it? Yeah. But I would imagine it'd be interesting with the football season starting up again, and also I was watching something earlier on about the cricket, and they were sort of saying, I think it was Jonathan Aggie was saying on BBC, that these players haven't played competitively any sport by the time they come around to it for maybe about 4 or 5 months. So you're going to be as rusty as Scott is on a golf course, and let's be honest, he's pretty rusty in the good days, let alone now. So there's got to be an element of, it's probably a great leveler as well, isn't it? So maybe you're going to be up against someone who may be higher up the rankings, but he won't have done any more practice than you have. So is it going to be a good leveler? Is it a good time to get back out and maybe move up the rankings yourself?
Yeah, definitely. You can practice as much as you want on your own, but when it comes to being match sharp, I don't think there's anything that can obviously equal to that other than playing in tournaments. It's the same with the golfers or the footballers. They can do the personal training, but they're not going to be match sharp unless they're actually playing competitive matches.
Right. Yes, but that is exactly like football, isn't it? It's match fitness. It's different from being fit and actually getting out on a football pitch and playing it. So I'm right in thinking there's a tournament coming up now, and that's why that's why we're having a chat today. And is snooker coming back? We've got a definite date for that.
Sorry, can you just repeat that?
Yeah, I was saying, have you got a definite date on snooker returning? You've got a tournament coming up now, so is snooker one of those first sports back in?
Yeah, the tournament starts on the 1st. I don't play well the 7th, but I believe it's the first live sport back in the UK. So hopefully it attracts a lot of new fans as well.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Because I think Scott's a big sports person. He likes to have a bet as well, don't you, Scott?
Yeah, I've already looked at your odds, 1,000 to 1. So
Right. What are you putting on? What are you
Is
putting on?
that it?
But that's, you know, you speak to a lot of people, and I think we all took live sport for granted, didn't we? Because there was so much of it around. You could put on any channel on Sky, and there'd be some sort of sport to watch, I would think. And then, you know, Scott, you'd probably be in the middle of the Euros now, wouldn't you? Or getting ready to go. And
yeah, we'd be. What are we flying out next week?
yeah.
We're meant to be in Ireland next week for the last 32. So yeah,
we were toying with going out to Tokyo with one of our other guys, actually the judo, and all this stuff's gone, isn't it? It's just disappeared overnight, and there's nothing to watch, there's nothing to get involved in, and we took all that for granted. So snooker coming back, you're right. That's going to be, you know, when's football back? 17th of June, I think.
Yeah.
1st of August for cricket. You can forget about the Olympics, obviously. So you know you've got a captive audience there.
Yeah, it's the people are just crying out for live sport, aren't they? Really, it's like the German football. I've never watched German football in my life, but since it's been on the last week or so, I've actually watched a few matches just because it's live and it's interesting to watch.
So going on to obviously this. Is it snooker? Is it Champions League? It's class.
It's Championship League, yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna have. How many players is it altogether?
64.
So to give it 64, you've now got to stay in hotels, haven't you, for a week or some kind of.
We go the day before we play. We get tested on that day, and then we have to self-isolate in the hotel for 24 hours. And then we play the matches the following day.
The difference in hotel rooms between Ronnie O'Sullivan and yours?
Well, no, probably.
Is it a knockout tournament?
It's 16 groups of 4 in the first stage. So you play each player best of 4 frames. So that's 3 matches, and then just the group winners go through to the next stage. So there'll be 4 groups of 4 in the next stage, and then the 4 winners of them go into the semi-finals.
Right. And how does the money work in snooker? Is the money just to be part of this? You know, is the big money when you get through to another round? You know, is there a lot of money in snooker? You see about, as with a lot of sports, you see the guys at the top earning good money. What's it like as you work your way up the rankings?
Yeah, at the top there is mega money to be earned. I think Judd Trump's earned £1 million each season for the last 2 years.
Wow.
But there is no actual guaranteed money in snooker. If you lose the first round, you don't get paid.
Really?
Luckily, in this tournament that Barry's put on for us, we are guaranteed money. But I think it's more of an exception due to the circumstances.
Right.
There is a couple of tournaments creeping in where you are actually guaranteed money. So hopefully that's going to be a new trend for the future.
Is anyone pulled out of the tournament with COVID?
Sorry?
Is anyone pulling out of competition because of COVID? Or?
A lot of the Chinese players have not entered because I think they've gone back home to China, so they'd be unable to come back in time. But nobody's withdrawn as yet. It's just obviously it depends on the testing, really.
And where are you in the rankings at the moment, Ash?
I'm ranked 83 at the minute.
Right. And you know, how easy is it to move up those rankings? You know, could you be a Leicester City, let's say, and come out of nowhere and win the World Championship?
Yeah, you could. If you had a few good tournaments back to back, you could shoot up the rankings. But with snooker, it's based on a 2-year rolling ranking. So every 2 years, your points refresh. So if you have a really good tournament, say the World Championships this season, in 2 years' time, all them points will come off. So then
Right.
you have to be consistent to defend all your points.
All right.
What would you put as your career highlight? The recent one, or
Apart from this podcast.
Probably. I won the English under-21 championships when I was 16, I believe. Obviously, getting on the tour were a dream come true, and then I've had a couple of last 32 tournaments which have been all right, I suppose. But I want to obviously push on and do a lot better.
so I brought these. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Modern technology, but after we sponsored you, all of a sudden it's better and better. I'm sure it must be something to do with us. So
it's all us. We're kingmakers.
yeah, this is all about us. So we've got the is it Sagnicum? Oh,
Yeah, the shootout.
Yeah, so you can see this one. Go on, can you see it on the screen?
Yeah.
So there's 30 seconds left. Want to talk us through this?
Yeah, I thought I underhit this blue, to be honest, but the table was so fast. It just carried on running, and you can see me there willing it on. And I
Jumping up and down made all the difference there, Ash.
Yeah, definitely. But I thought I underhit it. I couldn't believe I was on the yellow, and then I weren't sure if I had enough time or not on the green.
Yeah, you got 6 seconds, and
I think it was more a hit and hope, I think, than anything.
But what's that format then? Ash?
That is 10 minutes a frame.
Right.
And then basically whoever's got the most points in that 10 minutes. But you have a shot clock as well. It's 15 seconds for the first 5 minutes and then 10 seconds for the last 5 minutes, which is not a lot of time at all, really.
That's not the kind of thing you want to see Cliff Thorburn playing, I wouldn't have thought, for those old enough to know who he is.
Right.
And then you got to meet Mark Williams. And I was in the pub watching this, and like, he's won it. And then Mark Williams decided to have the comeback with comebacks.
Yeah.
I was thinking at this stage, you've got 13. Oh, don't what? I've done it wrong. 25 seconds left. It's slowly catching you ball by ball.
Yeah, it was weird because he actually had enough time to probably beat me there, but obviously just under that much confusion and all sorts of other time limits, and he's just rushed it, and thankfully for me, he missed it. But
for me, I backed you to lose both of them games, and you won both of them. So I think the secret to all this is us sponsoring and me to back you to lose, and you'll win this competition.
But actually, it's interesting there watching that and all the crowds, how close they are to each other and how close they are to you as the players. And you were talking earlier about watching the German league, and there's no crowds there either. How influential or how important is it to sports people to have the crowd in situ with you, right? All around.
It's huge, really. It's unexplainable, really. It's just even at the qualifiers where there might only be 20, 30 people watching, but there's still that little atmosphere that's there, and it just makes a huge difference. Obviously, in the big arenas, there's thousands of people, and that's just incredible to play in front of them. But I know when I was in Gibraltar, that was under closed door, behind closed doors, and it just wasn't the same. It felt.
I would imagine that as a player, the crowd will help you raise your game. Maybe your fans will be cheering you on, and that motivates you then, and the concentration levels are probably potentially greater as a result, because otherwise you just feel like you're potting around balls in an empty snooker hall, which
definitely. Yep, spot on. It's just obviously you want to win while you're there, and you want to compete, but you also want to entertain the people who are paying to come and watch you as well. And there might be a few friends that have never seen you play before, and you want to obviously show them how good you are and stuff.
Do you see a point whereby, have you heard anything from the governing bodies about crowds back in, and do you think it might, right off 2020 and maybe next year we'll be able to see the crowds back?
Yeah, I think it will be the start of next year now for all sports, I believe.
Will you replay the World Championship, or will that be?
That's going ahead as end of July. It's planned for.
Right.
That will be behind closed doors.
Well, that's the Crucible.
Yeah, the qualifiers should be middle of July. I think they're held at Ponds Forge. But yeah, I don't think there'll be any fans at all at the Crucible.
No. So when are you playing then? When do we look out for you? What channel are you on? Where are we going to find you, Ash?
It's on ITV4, this one next week.
Right. Okay.
And you're playing Ken Doherty, who's the same age as Martin, maybe 78. How old is he? He's got to be old.
I'm not sure. He must be late 40s.
Oh, he's still young. He's still young. He's got his whole life in front of him. Did he win the World Championship?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because my group is the only group with 2 world champions in it.
Oh, is it a group of death?
Neil Robertson and Ken Doherty, and then Kurt Macklin is the other player.
Right, you've got to be in top form to get out of that one then.
Yeah, definitely. Nice tester for me.
Yeah, good.
Get straight back into it.
The best, you've got to beat the best.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Martin normally finishes this on one question. What is your favourite football team? I know what it is, but just wind you up.
Not a popular opinion, but yeah, it's the mighty Leeds.
Yeah, really? Well, so where are you on finishing the football season? I'm guessing you're probably all for getting it over the line, because I'm a Liverpool fan and I think we should get these seasons over the line, don't you?
Yeah, I'd like to see it play on. Obviously, you know, like you say, as a Liverpool fan and Leeds, you want to win stuff the right way, not given it. Obviously,
Leeds
Liverpool
never want to win anything the right way.
I just hope Leeds don't mess it up like last year now.
What do you go and support them? Are you Leeds born and bred there, Ash?
Yeah, I don't go as much as I like, probably due to tournaments and things, but I definitely go when I can, and yeah, I really enjoy it.
Who are you up against up there at the top of the championship?
There's West Brom, which are a point behind, and then Fulham are 7 points behind.
Right. Okay. How many games left? About 10, 12?
There's 9, I think.
Right. Okay. All right. Well,
I'd definitely just finish season on points per game. Rotherham get promoted.
Well, yeah.
Get promoted.
It'd be nice, but it'd be even nicer to finish it and still go up.
well, I think the German league, they're 2 or 3 games in now to their season. It seems to be working. You know, I always think it's better to have a clean end to something, and then you can start the new season. I think we can just cram these games in by middle end of July, and then we could just work on the new season from there. Can't we?
How would you celebrate as a fan?
I don't know. You can't really.
He's forgotten how to.
The pubs might be open by then, so we might be all right.
Well, listen, look, thanks for your time. It's been good to catch up with you. Good luck with the tournament next week. We should be cheering you on. Scott will be throwing all his money at you. No pressure. Good luck for Leeds for the rest of the season. And maybe we'll catch up in a month or 2 and see how things are going then.
Yep, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.